The mission of the YWCA is to eliminate racism and empower women. So the work that I do at Henry J. Austin is particularly focused on that. The history of community health centers is actually embedded in empowerment. So the first health centers that got started back in 1960 started out of the civil rights movement. I am inspired and motivated by that first beginnings of the health center in terms of how do we empower disenfranchised individuals. And so the work that we do harkens right back to that very first health center in terms of empowering a community. And as we know, women are often the leaders of a community. They often say a community is only as healthy as its mothers.
Oh, well, since I was born in the segregated South, I have been used to racism all my life. And I have always worked toward getting to know people, getting to know other people, and to, in any way I possibly could, eliminate racism. And we can only do that by communicating with each other.
My personal values, volunteerism, and past work align with the mission of the Princeton YWCA in a variety of ways. I would say at the forefront comes my personal core beliefs that everyone should have the ability to access education, that they should have true equity, and that they should have the resources they need in order to be at the table and have their voice heard.
Well, as a woman of color, specifically a black woman, eliminating racism is a top priority for me. So I work really hard to make sure that voices that typically aren't heard are able to come to the table. And as the founder of the Urban Mental Health Alliance, it was only when I founded that nonprofit that I really began to understand how racism has deeply affected communities. It means working to dismantle a lot of the systemic racism that we have across the country.
So growing up as an Asian American, I occupied a lot of spaces where I was the minority. And so growing up, I never felt very comfortable being who I was. So getting my foot into the door was really difficult. And so I've sort of made it my mission, and I put the work into the Asian American community in order to make spaces for Asian Americans so that they don't have to go through hoops to get where I am or to get to the places that they want to be.
The Golden Lotus Project aims to empower women and girls, and so I think by letting girls and women know that this whole idea of talking about your period, it's like taboo, and it makes you feel like you have to like always use these code names and like talk about it in a corner and whisper, and like that messes with your confidence. Through the different initiatives that I do and the different workshops, it's just finding different ways to allow somebody to feel good about themselves.
At the Smith Family Foundation, one of the wonderful things that we do is we work with the urban community in the city of Trenton. And what we want to do is, just like the mission of the YWCA, is we want to figure out a way so that everyone has the opportunity and the access to be successful and to be happy and healthy.
As a white woman from the South, I've felt kind of called and compelled to do what I can to increase awareness about those unjust systems. So here in Princeton, that means volunteering with Housing Initiatives of Princeton. We provide, safe, quality, affordable housing to low-income working families with children, most of whom are single, female-headed households, and all of which are kind of families of color, to help them kind of find better jobs, better paying jobs.
I do this every day, making sure that every child is feeling comfortable, and I work with my church as a community leader, as a youth director. I work into the school system, and I'm just really glad to be a part of that.
This is what I am, 93, and this is what I've been doing all my life. I worked at International School Services for about 12 years. I took over as executive director in Athens, Greece. I was so involved with women, and especially when I moved and worked at the International School Services, that's when I started that program. The goals were to do as much as you could to help women to get ahead, to be anti any prejudices. Really got so much out of it. I felt how fortunate I was to be able to be involved.
One of the fascinating pieces I find about this award is how it aligns the work not only of Thomas Edison State University, but my own interest in empowering populations, empowering women. And I think I take a little bit of a different interest in that role. I should say my background is in business. I'm a finance person. I look at it very pragmatically. My job as an educator is to empower communities, it's to empower people. So that alignment with the full multi-generational look at the human being and looking at the value they bring to themselves, to communities, to the workforce, to our societies, really aligns with my passion in my career and personally.
We will continue to advance the mission of YWCA through the work that we do each and every day within the Health Center in terms of becoming that place of safety, empowerment, and healing for those within our community. One of the things I am really passionate about is this idea of Henry J. Austin becoming a beacon of civic, social, and health empowerment for our community.
I think working as an Asian American or working as a person of color in government is advancing the mission in itself, because it's showing other younger generations that you can work in government, you can work for the First Lady and be an Asian American.
I will continue to advance the mission. I feel that women are the leaders. I'm sorry, but I just feel that way. Not to take anything away from our men, but women are the leaders. And if you want a job done, if you want it done correctly, you have to put a woman there. And I encourage young women to step up to the plate, become leaders, be strong, because you'll get pushed back, but you have to be strong. And I will continue to encourage them in the work I do every day.
We have organizations who are looking to help young people get into college, which is very important. We have organizations who are helping young people to develop and learn the leadership that they need to go straight into work after school. And then we have organizations who are looking to help young people get into, say, a trade school so that they can have a master skill that will always help them to develop, to have a lifelong job opportunity.
I want to continue to work to support and advocate and advance the work of leaders in the field who are people of color. In our society, a lot of times we like to lift up stories and celebrate stories of people who beat the odds and had amazing success in the face of overwhelming challenges. And not to take anything away from their individual successes, I feel like what we need more of is, working to change the odds so that everyone, regardless of, skin color, geographic location, family income, etc., has a chance to, achieve their full potential.
There's so many opportunities for collaboration, both in my own work and my work as the president of Thomas Edison State University. So some of the things I've done, obviously, in my position, you get to sit on boards, you get to work with committees, you get to stroke checks and do a lot of things that empower opportunities. Probably one of my prouder moments since I've been in New Jersey is I've recently become a CASA with Mercer Burlington County. And I think it's important to work not only with the YWCA directly, but indirectly to have hands-on investment in our community, in the change we're trying to make.
You gotta study, you gotta learn, and you gotta read. You gotta know what's going on around you. You just can't assume. Or you just can't listen to the radio or to tell them. You have to read. And you have to do sometimes a lot of soul searching. And it can be done. You have to know who you are. Once you know who you are, you know what your goals are, you know what you want to do in life, you know how you want to be as a young woman or an older woman. Be tough. It's all right to be tough because that's the only way you're going to make it.
It would probably be the same advice that my father gave me. I remember he said to me, you stay focused on what you've been called to do. He said, you don't look left, you don't look right, there is no competition. He said, you stay focused on that target. He said, it's gonna get hard. It's not gonna be easy, but if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it.
So if I were to give someone younger a piece of advice, I'd tell them to really take advantage of all the opportunities given to you. When I was younger, when I was in college, I did an internship in Newark, and I was going to school at TC&J, so I was in Ewing. So I would drive 20 minutes to the train station, 7 a.m. in the morning, pay $7 in parking, pay $30 round trip for a ticket to Newark, and then I'd buy lunch there, and then I'd go back, and I would have a packed schedule that day too. And I think just taking advantage of all these opportunities, all the opportunities, and finding opportunities will set you apart from others.
Not to wait till tomorrow to try something. If you have an idea and you have something that matters to you, that helps people be better people, just go ahead. And even if it takes you a longer time than you expect, keep chipping away at it every day.
What advice would I give to someone following my footsteps? Take a break, breathe, and realize that you can't do it all by yourself.
Follow their heart. As you believe in getting something done, don't let no one tell you different. Go do it. But you also can bring someone else along with you to get it done.
To really realize how much you get out of life when you can help in every way. And that's what I continue even now at 93 to keep on doing it.
The advice that I would give to someone following in my footsteps is to never give up. I think that being in a position of power and leadership takes a lot of hard work, it requires a lot of grit, and at the end of the day is all about hustle.
And I think we've all heard the saying that, if you like your job, you'll never work a day in life. That's not true. We all know that. We have good days, we have bad days. But if you're fortunate enough to find something you believe in, either through your paid work or through volunteer work, through community activism, you'll always want to go on. The bad days won't be as bad. The good days will be great. And even in a bad day, you'll realize that you moved something forward.
How do we find all the pieces of the puzzle that need to come together to create whole, healthy, happy human beings? And there's a lot involved in that. It's a big wish and dream, but that's the goal at the end of the day, creating whole, healthy, happy human beings.
Thank you very much to YWCA for recognizing the work that we do at the Smith Family Foundation, and the team is very, very grateful that you are honoring us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you that you actually are honoring some big fish. These are women that have been out there doing the work for a long time, and are making some real change. And it's just such an honor to actually be on the stage with them.
I mean, I'm just incredibly honored to be recognized by an organization that does so much for women and people of color in our community. And so I would just say thank you.
I think that's wonderful. To honor young women and to recognize them, it's the best thing that we can do because it encourages them to do better. And I am so happy that you are honoring. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, I don't take anything from me, but they all should be young women because they deserve to be honored.
I'm just an ordinary citizen, I thank you.
I think extra honored, and it's just happenstance that I happen to be a part of this class where we're honoring young women. And that to me is super exciting because that's where the future lies, and having people realize you make a change at all levels. So I want to add thank you.
I'm thankful to the Princeton YWCA.
There are people who've come before me and have put in the work and recognize the things that I'm doing, and that there's people after me that are able to look at this and be like, that's something that I want to do. So that's exciting.
It is a really big honor, and I'm really humbled to be able to receive it.
my husband and I to put 6 kids through college and all finishing through them with master. It was because of the love of the nurtures here in Princeton. So I'm just giving back. I want to say thank you to y'all too.